Today, before I start my sermon, I have a couple questions for you. Have you ever been in a heated argument? Or have you ever been treated poorly? A lot of the time, when we are mistreated, we tend to want to return the pain, to snap back, to get even. By today's standards, an eye for an eye is an average thing that is taught to children regularly. We are told to get even with people, to prove our point, and to never let anybody win against us. But Romans 12:17-18 says, "Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, do live at peace with everyone." That verse is hard. It goes against what our instincts tell us to do. When someone hurts us, we want to hurt them back. When someone embarrasses us, we want to embarrass them back. But Paul is telling us that God is calling us to something higher. He's calling us to peace. I'm sure that most of you here are familiar with the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. It's called the golden rule for a reason. It's extremely important because it reminds us that the way we treat others and talk to others has a bigger impact than we think. The golden rule is not just a suggestion. It is a way of life. It is a lens through which we should see every person, every argument, every relationship, and every moment of our lives. And I'm not trying to give everyone here a nice English lesson, but we all know what a participle is, right? Or maybe you don't. So I'm going to tell you. A participle is a word that acts both like a verb and an adjective. They have three forms: past, present, and future, like most things do. The scripture says being at peace, not was at peace or do be at peace, but being at peace. Being is a present participle. That means that peace is not something we choose once. It is something we practice constantly in a repeating action. Paul is telling us that peace is a daily effort. It is something we use in every conversation, every disagreement, and every moment we feel anger rising. Keeping our anger in check can have a major impact on the people we become. Anger itself is not always sinful. Jesus showed righteous anger when he saw injustice in the temple. But when anger controls our actions and what we do, it can ruin things that we love. It can ruin our relationships. It can make us say things we regret and hurt people we love. Being at peace is not about being weak. It is about being strong enough to pause, think, and choose a better response. Peace doesn't mean that we don't ever disagree. We disagree all the time. It doesn't mean that we don't stand up for what is right. It means we choose to handle conflict with love, patience, and self-control. Jesus teaches in Matthew 7:12, "So in everything, do to others as you would have them do to you." That sounds simple, but it is one of the hardest things in the Bible to live out. Think about how you want to be treated. You want people to be patient when you mess up. You want people to forgive you when you say something wrong. You want people to understand you when you're having a bad day. You want people to include you, to respect you, and to listen to you. The golden rule asks us to give out that same kindness to others. Kindness isn't just being polite. Kindness is choosing compassion when you could choose cruelty. Kindness is choosing patience when you could choose anger. Kindness is choosing love when you could be choosing indifference. Sometimes kindness is something small, like saying, "Oh, hey," or opening a door for someone, or helping somebody when they're struggling. Other times, kindness is something big, like standing up for someone who's being mistreated. Proverbs 11:17 says, those who are kind benefit themselves, but the cruel bring ruin to themselves." Kindness changes others, but it also changes us. When we practice kindness, our hearts become softer, our relationships become stronger, and our lives become more joyful. Another part of the golden rule is empathy, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Empathy is the ability to feel what someone else might be feeling, even if you don't understand their situation fully. We often judge people quickly. We see someone act rude, quiet, or just strange, and we assume the worst. We think they're just mean, they're just annoying, or they're just weird. But we usually don't know what's going on inside. That person might be dealing with family problems, stress, grief, mental health struggles, or something we can't see. Everyone carries invisible burdens. Romans 12:15 tells us to rejoice with those who rejoice and to mourn with those who mourn. That means we cry when people are hurting and we're happy when people are happy. Empathy changes how we respond. Instead of snapping back, we pause. Instead of judging, we ask questions. Instead of pushing people away, we pull them close and try to understand them. When we practice empathy, we reflect the heart of Jesus. Jesus never, ever saw people as problems. He saw people as souls who needed love and saving. Forgiveness is one of the hardest parts of the golden rule. We all want forgiveness, especially when we mess up. But forgiving someone who hurt us can feel impossible. Think about a time that someone said something hurtful to you. Think about a time someone betrayed your trust, embarrassed you, or just treated you unfairly. Your first reaction is probably anger, sadness, or revenge. But Jesus is teaching us something crazy in Matthew 18. Peter asks Jesus, how many times should we forgive someone? Jesus replies, not 7 times, but 77 times. You know what's great about this verse? Jesus isn't saying that we should count every time we forgive someone. He's saying forget counting, just forgive people over and over and over again. Forgiveness does not mean what someone did was okay. It does not mean we forget the hurt or allow someone to keep hurting us. Forgiveness means we choose not to let hatred control our hearts. When we forgive someone, we're breaking that cycle. When we choose peace over bitterness, we choose healing over hatred. Holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy weight everywhere you go. It's like it's tied to your back. Forgiveness is putting that weight on the ground, cutting those ropes. In today's world, it's easy to be mean. It's easy to slap back, spread drama, or get revenge. Social media makes it easy to say things online we would never say in person. Video games, school drama, family drama, all these things of everyday stress can make people treat others like enemies instead of neighbors. But Romans 12:21 tells us, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. When we follow the golden rule, we stand out. We become people who bring peace instead of conflict, kindness instead of cruelty, and understanding instead of judgment. Imagine what schools would be like if everyone followed the golden rule. Imagine how families would change. Imagine how friendships would grow and sprout. The golden rule has the power to change lives and communities. And while working on this sermon, I realized something that I do a lot. I realized that a lot of the time I treat other people like tools, just asking for what I want without thinking about how I come across. I realized I sometimes talk without realizing how my words affect people. The golden rule has always been in my life, but recently when studying on it and finding stuff to say about it, I realized if I were on the other side of this, how would I want to be treated? That question changing how I think, it made me realize that kindness, empathy, and forgiveness are not just church words. They are daily choices in our lives. We all mess up. We all say things we regret. But the golden rule gives us a way to grow. It gives us a standard to aim for. The golden rule isn't just a nice idea. It reflects the heart of Jesus. Jesus treated people with compassion, even when they didn't deserve it. He ate with sinners, healed the sick, and forgave those who crucified him. Luke 6:35 says, love your enemies, do good to them, and lend to them without expecting to get anything back. That is the golden rule at its highest level. Jesus didn't just teach the golden rule, he lived it. He calls us to follow his example. The golden rule is called golden because it's priceless. It is simple, but it has the power to change friendships, families, schools, and communities. If we all treated others the way we wanted to be treated, there would be less hate, less division, and more love and understanding. Romans 12:17 reminds us to live at peace with everyone as much as we can. Peace is not always easy, but it is always worth it. So as you go through your day, ask yourself one question. If I were them, how would I want to be treated? If we live by that question, we're living out the golden rule and showing the world a little more of God's love. And if you want that love, I encourage you to give your life to Christ and continue loving each other as yourself. Because Jesus is coming back, but we don't know when. Thank you.